It's a learning thing. It's a learning every day. I'm in a great position to sit back, understand the game plan, understand everything that the NFL is. So, I'm ready for my opportunity whenever that happens. But in this time that I'm not out there physically playing, I would say I'm growing everywhere. Every week. So I have 6 games a week, so I'm happy rather than just having 1 game a week, on the weekends. So the scout team receivers, all of us, we all know like every day's game day, and we definitely approach everything in that fashion and everything, because I truly believe the receivers we have on the scout team is really explosive and they're really great. They just need opportunity. So I'm very thankful. I have those guys, out there with me whenever I'm out there competing.
Don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin. Let's be real. We've all heard rookies give interviews where they try to sound polished, grateful, and ready for their opportunity. It's usually the same script. Smile for the cameras, say you're learning, praise the vets, and keep it moving. But what Shedeur Sanders just said, that wasn't a script. That wasn't fluff. That was a truth bomb that shook the NFL and flipped this entire conversation on its head. He didn't whine about not getting enough reps. He didn't throw shade at the coaching staff. He didn't even fall into the trap of hyping himself up for headlines. Instead, he dropped something way more dangerous. He told the world that while people see scout team duty as a punishment, he's turned it into a training ground. 6 games a week, live fire reps against one of the nastiest defenses in football. And that right there changes everything. Think about how wild that is. Most rookies complain behind closed doors. They sulk when their name isn't called on Sunday. They do what they can to get noticed. But Shedeur, he flipped the narrative. He said, every single day is game day for me. I'm getting more live action than most starters. I'm building chemistry with guys who are hungry just like me. We treat practice like playoffs. You could feel the conviction in his words. That wasn't fake confidence. That was a young quarterback telling you exactly how he's rewriting the book on what waiting your turn looks like. And that's why this hit so hard. Because let's be honest, critics were waiting to pounce. They've been saying he's overhyped, just his father's son, a flashy college product who wouldn't handle the grind of the NFL. They expected ego. They expected frustration. What they got instead was maturity, patience, and an insane level of focus. Shedeur didn't just quiet the noise. He exposed how clueless those critics really are. This is the kind of mentality that front offices dream about. Imagine being a GM, listening to a rookie basically say, I don't need headlines. I don't need the spotlight. I'm getting better every single day, and when the lights finally hit me, I'll be more prepared than you realize. That's terrifying for the rest of the league. Because if he's already seeing the game this way, what happens when he actually steps onto the field with real weapons, real starters, and real Sundays? That's why this truth bomb matters. It's not just about Shedeur clarifying his reps. It's about a rookie quarterback telling you flat out, don't confuse my silence with weakness. Don't confuse my patience with passivity. I'm learning, I'm grinding, and when my moment comes, you won't be ready for it. That's not noise, and that's a warning shot. And the fact that it came in such a calm, collected way makes it even more chilling. So here's where we're at. Shedeur Sanders didn't just speak to the Browns. He didn't just speak to reporters. He spoke to the entire NFL. And every scout, every rival GM, every coach on the hot seat heard the exact same message. This kid isn't waiting around. He's building something. And sooner or later, someone's going to unleash it. And the scary part? That truth bomb might have just forced the Bengals and the rest of the AFC to rethink everything they thought they knew about Shedeur Sanders. Here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders' situation in Cleveland. It's complicated. On paper, the Browns have their guy. They paid Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract that still makes executives across the league shake their heads. They've got their franchise quarterback, whether the locker room fully believes in him or not. And behind him, they've got veterans holding clipboards, keeping the seat warm in case disaster strikes. That's the way the depth chart looks. That's how the media frames it. To most people, Shedeur Sanders is buried, just another rookie waiting his turn with no clear path to the field. But if you think that's the whole story, you're missing what's actually happening, because insiders, coaches, and now rival teams, they see something completely different. They see a young quarterback who's not sitting idly by. They see a guy who's being sharpened like steel against fire. Because while most rookies get scout reps against vanilla defenses, Shedeur is out there every single day staring down Myles Garrett. You know what that means? He's living in the chaos that ruins most quarterbacks. He's learning pocket presence against the most violent pass rushes this league has to offer. That's not wasted time. That's elite training you couldn't design if you tried. And that's why the Bengals are circling. Think about their situation for a second. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in football when he's healthy, but that's the catch, when he's healthy. Year after year, the injuries pile up. A calf, a wrist. Something always pops up. And every time he goes down, the Bengals' season teeters on collapse. We saw it with Jake Browning. Nice story, solid backup. But let's be honest, he's not carrying you through the AFC gauntlet. Cincinnati knows that window with Burrow, Chase, and Higgins isn't forever. They can't afford to let injuries keep sabotaging it. So when a young quarterback like Shedeur starts showing maturity, leadership, and daily battle testing against one of the toughest defenses in football, you bet the Bengals are paying attention. They're not just looking at him as a backup option. They're seeing the possibility of a plug-and-play spark, a rookie who might actually be more game-ready than the league realizes. And honestly, it makes sense. Because while the media keeps framing Shedeur as a guy stuck on the bench, insiders know the reps he's getting are gold. This isn't a kid holding a clipboard. This is a quarterback who treats every Thursday practice like it's a Sunday playoff game. And the Bengals, who have everything to lose if Burrow's body breaks down again, see the value in that. It's not just speculation, it's strategy. The Bengals don't need another Jake Browning. They don't need another serviceable backup. They need someone who can step in, command a huddle, and survive the chaos. And when you've been sharpened every day by Myles Garrett, when you've already turned scout team into a family, when you've shown maturity beyond your years, you look a whole lot more like a solution than just a backup plan. And that's exactly why Cincinnati's watching closer than anyone wants to admit. You know what frustrates me the most about this whole Shedeur Sanders conversation? The critics. The endless parade of talking heads and Twitter warriors who swear they've already got him figured out. He's overhyped. He's a system guy. He's just living off his dad's name. I've heard it all, and honestly, I'm sick of it. Because the reality of what this kid is doing right now looks nothing like the lazy narratives being thrown around. Let's call it what it is. Some analysts decided long before draft night that Shedeur wouldn't handle the NFL grind. They said he'd crack under pressure. They said he'd get frustrated, demand more reps, or fade into the background the moment things didn't go his way. And because he landed with the Browns, an organization with its own history of quarterback chaos, it gave the critics even more ammo. Wrong system, wrong situation, wasted talent. That's been the drumbeat. But here's the problem with that story. It's flat out wrong. Because instead of sulking, instead of pouting, instead of becoming another name lost in the depth chart, Shedeur has done the opposite. He's embraced it. He's attacked it. Every rep, every meeting, every scout team snap, he's treating it like an opportunity. That's not hype. That's not marketing. That's reality. And when I hear people call him overhyped, I can't help but laugh. Overhyped? This kid hasn't even had a real chance yet. If anything, he's under the radar compared to the circus other rookie quarterbacks get. He's not plastered across commercials. He's not begging for attention. He's in the shadows putting in work that nobody sees until he finally gets to prove it. Compare that to other rookies we've seen flame out. Guys who came in with hype but couldn't stomach the grind. They wanted the spotlight but not the work. They treated the scout team like a punishment, like something beneath them. And guess what? They vanished. Shedeur is doing the exact opposite. He's treating the scout team like it's Sunday Night Football. He's turning it into a laboratory for growth, a place to sharpen his timing, build chemistry, and learn how to handle NFL speed against one of the nastiest defenses in the league. That's why the criticism feels so empty, because it's not based on who he is. It's based on assumptions. And the reality is proving those assumptions dead wrong. You don't hear Shedeur complaining. You don't see him slacking. What you see is a young quarterback stacking brick after brick, building something bigger than most people can see right now. This isn't wasted time. This isn't a rookie stuck in limbo. This is transformation time. And when the critics finally realize what's happening behind the scenes, it might already be too late. Because by the time Shedeur Sanders gets his shot, the gap between the narrative and the reality will be massive. And he'll be the one closing it. Snap by snap, throw by throw, game by game. The NFL has always been a league built on stories of the unexpected. The overlooked, the doubted, the guys nobody believed in until they shocked the world. We've seen it before. Tom Brady wasn't supposed to be the GOAT. He was a 6th-round pick who walked into a huddle only because Drew Bledsoe got knocked out. Kurt Warner? He was literally bagging groceries before he became a Super Bowl MVP. And Brock Purdy? Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, suddenly carrying the San Francisco 49ers on a playoff run. These aren't fairy tales. They're reminders. Reminders that the NFL doesn't always follow the script. And when I look at Shedeur Sanders right now, grinding away on that Browns scout team, I can't help but think, this might be the next chapter in that same book. Because here's a kid who's turning what most people see as a dead-end role into his launch pad. While other rookies are complaining about not getting on the field, Shedeur is treating practice like prime time. He's taking those scout team snaps and using them to build chemistry, to create trust, to form bonds that are going to matter the second he steps under real NFL lights. You can hear it in his words when he talks about his receivers, calling them explosive, praising their hunger, calling them family. That's leadership. That's culture. That's not just a quarterback throwing balls around in meaningless reps. That's a guy molding his own unit out of overlooked pieces, just like he's been overlooked himself. And let me tell you, that matters. Because when he finally steps into a real huddle, he's not just bringing his arm, he's bringing that culture with him. Picture it, a future Sunday. The Browns, or maybe another team like the Bengals, forced to turn to Shedeur. He walks into the huddle, looks his guys in the eye, and those players already know who he is. They already trust him, because he's been building that trust every single day on the practice field. That's the difference between a rookie who panics and a rookie who's ready. That's the difference between wasted time and preparation. This is why I say the spotlight isn't going to blind Shedeur when it finally hits him. He's already battle-tested. He's already been hit by Myles Garrett 100 times in practice. He's already faced one of the league's best defenses over and over. He's been in the fire. So when the real bullets start flying, he's not going to flinch. He's going to look calm, collected, like he belongs. And that's the beauty of his story. Because legends rarely come from the perfect path. They come from adversity, from shadows, from being overlooked. Right now, Shedeur Sanders is living in those shadows. But if history has taught us anything, it's that the spotlight is coming. And when it does, don't be surprised if he steps into it already looking like he's been there all along. Because this isn't just a rookie learning the ropes. This is a leader in the making, a spotlight waiting to be earned. And that moment, it feels closer than anyone realizes. Here's where it all comes together. Because at some point, every fan has to stop asking what if and start asking why not. Why not Shedeur Sanders? Why not now? Why not the kid who's been quietly building something real while the rest of the league wasn't paying attention? This isn't just another rookie holding a clipboard and waiting for fate to give him a chance. This is a quarterback who's already doing the work of a starter, already putting in the hours, already showing the leadership you can't fake. You don't hear teammates talk about a guy like family unless he's earned it. And Shedeur has earned it. Every rep, every hit, every practice. That's why I believe, and why you should too, because Shedeur isn't sitting back, hoping the moment comes. He's preparing for it like he already knows it's on the way. He's building chemistry, building trust, building confidence. He's building momentum. And when momentum meets opportunity, that's when careers take off. That's when legends are born. Now, maybe it happens in Cleveland. Maybe the Browns finally open their eyes and realize they've got something special right under their nose, or maybe they don't. Maybe they cling to the status quo, bury Shedeur on the depth chart, and pretend nothing's happening. But if they do, if they let him walk, if they give a team like Cincinnati the keys to unlock him, that's when regret sets in. Because you don't let quarterbacks with this kind of mindset slip away without paying for it. I'll make my prediction right now. Whichever team finally hands Shedeur Sanders the huddle, whether it's the Browns, the Bengals, or someone else bold enough to take the leap, they're going to be shocked. Shocked at how ready he is. Shocked at how polished he looks. Shocked at how seamlessly he takes control of a locker room and wins over his guys. And we as fans, we won't be shocked at all because we've been watching this story unfold from the start. This is bigger than a quarterback controversy, bigger than a trade rumor. This is about a young leader showing patience, purpose, and work ethic in a league that rarely rewards any of those things. It's about proving that you don't need headlines or hype to belong. You just need belief. And Shedeur Sanders has been showing us day after day that he belongs. So don't just brush this off as noise. Don't let the critics drown it out. If you're a fan of football, if you're a believer in underdog stories, if you love this game for the moments that make your chest tighten and your heart race, then you already know what's happening. Shedeur Sanders isn't just waiting for his time, he's creating it. And when that spotlight finally hits, we're all going to remember this moment. The moment we realized he was more than hype, more than rumors, more than just a rookie. He was ready all along. And if the Browns don't see it, then they'll watch another team reap the rewards, and that mistake, it might haunt them for years to come.